It's gonna be like. So what if we lose? It's gonna be all right. So what if we get swept? It's gonna be all right. So what if we miss out on the money? It's gonna be all right. That he just gives you that impression.
Getting sued. Everyone's so sensitive. YouTube was demonetizing like half my videos because they were becoming more, progressive, and all of their advertisers would be like, we can't have this.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit.
Stephen A. Smith has weighed in with sharp criticism of Jake Paul, pointing to reports and allegations that claim Paul's financial situation unraveled following lawsuits tied to accusations of fight manipulation. Smith's message was blunt. No amount of money is worth the risk when illegal behavior is involved. He argued that once misconduct is exposed, consequences are unavoidable, and according to multiple media reports, this outcome was only a matter of time.
Normal. I'm talking about people who let it cost them their money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm talking about. If it don't cost you your money, puff, puff, and pass away. Yeah.
Jake Paul has reportedly said that his financial situation took a major hit, claiming he lost significant income, and even had YouTube content removed due to platform issues. According to his account, each lawsuit cost him millions, with the financial damage compounding quickly. Paul has suggested that despite once earning massive sums, ongoing legal battles steadily drain his resources. He reportedly reflected on how fast wealth can disappear when legal troubles continue to stack up.
I like say the names, but there's like a firm who has stolen a bunch of money from celebrities in Los Angeles and athletes.
You don't want to say the name because you're probably going to get sued.
No, yeah. No,
That's another $1 million.
I'm probably going to sue them one day.
Jake Paul has reportedly maintained that he did not fix any fights and says he intends to pursue legal action against anyone who claims otherwise. He has emphasized that scripted bouts are illegal and that making false accusations is a serious matter. According to Paul, the allegations are unfounded, and he argues that spreading such claims could carry legal consequences. He has stressed that he's prepared to take action to defend his reputation and protect his career.
This is Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul.
Jake Paul has reportedly pushed back hard against critics who label his fights as rigged, arguing that they fundamentally misunderstand boxing. According to Paul, many of the people making those claims lack the knowledge to recognize strategy, timing, and decision-making inside the ring. He suggested that what some viewers dismiss as scripting is actually calculated boxing, and that the criticism reflects ignorance of the sport's nuances rather than any wrongdoing on his part.
Thinking that you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie.
You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
Rampage.
Because I'm an MMA guy.
Anyone who believes that narrative, it's like, come on. You think Anderson Silva's going to lose. You think Woodley's going to take a fall. You know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall.
People think the Mike Tyson fight's rigged. I try to understand.
Tony Jeff, speaking in Jake Paul's defense, pushed back on claims that Mike Tyson was holding back during the fight. He reportedly argued that Tyson wasn't pulling his punches, explaining that if a full shot had been thrown in that moment, Jake would have immediately responded. According to Jeff, many critics misread what they're seeing, failing to recognize the skill, timing, and strategy at play. He suggested that labeling the performance as scripted or restrained reflects a lack of understanding of boxing rather than any wrongdoing in the ring.
That Mike Tyson has got to do this fight. This is what I wrote on Instagram, and someone commented saying he doesn't have to do it, he's choosing to do it. And then I thought, you're right, he is choosing to do it, but why is he choosing to do it? Well, he's doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this. So that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson can get bought. Because this guy is an absolute legend. He shouldn't be able to get bought like this. He's 57 years old. He needs to be enjoying retirement. Now, I don't think that I've got the wealth that Mike Tyson's got. But if someone offered me $20 million to fight Jake Paul, I would say no. Because I care too much about me brain health, about me children, about me family. Where it seems like he is being bored. And I'm not trying to disrespect the man. I absolutely love the man. It's just so blue.
Meanwhile, some analysts speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast raised questions about Jake Paul's bout with Mike Tyson, suggesting it appeared carefully controlled. They reportedly pointed out that while Tyson looked fast and powerful during training footage, his in-ring performance showed a noticeable level of restraint. According to their discussion, his punches seemed measured and his overall intensity appeared dialed back compared to his usual style. The analysts emphasized that this contrast led some viewers to believe the fight was managed rather than fully competitive. Observers cited the pacing, timing, and reactions in the ring as reasons the bout felt adjusted, fueling speculation among fans, even as no definitive proof was presented.
Test himself against actual, not just world champion, but one of the greatest of all time.
Are the fights even real? Like the Tyson fight? Like I saw video breakdowns of Tyson not throwing punches early on in that fight. I don't know if you watched any of those videos where like there's a left hook is 100% available. Tyson in training 99% of the time releases that punch and he held up. Like, do you think that was a real fight?
It looked like sparring to me. That's what it looked like.
But like with an arrangement beforehand? Like,
I wouldn't want to speculate because I haven't talked to anybody about it. But my educated assessment,
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
It looked like sparring.
Jake Paul's recent fight with Anthony Joshua was surrounded by speculation that he planned to tilt the matchup in his favor through strategy and careful positioning. However, those ideas didn't appear to play out as expected. Instead, Jake seemed more focused on staying defensively responsible rather than trying to control the fight offensively. Observers noted that while he showed moments of solid defense, the overall approach was cautious, highlighting just how difficult it is to face a high-level opponent like Joshua. Analysts suggest the bout revealed the limits of preparation alone, showing that even well-thought-out plans can fall apart inside the unpredictable reality of a professional boxing ring.
For him in terms of what he's doing in the boxing ring.
Listen, so long as people will tune in and so long as Jake Paul is paid by Netflix or any broadcaster to air his fights, we're going to see this continue. And Jake Paul knows his business model, right? Now, this deviated, this AJ fight, which came together kind of last minute after the Tank Davis fight fell apart. But we know Jake Paul's MO here. It's find the most popular guy with the most physical disadvantages for me to fight. And Jake Paul has the benefit that he's turned himself into a villain, or in the pro wrestling circles, a heel. People tune in to watch. We did not tune into this fight to see competitive boxing. Most of us tuned in because we thought, here's Anthony Joshua. Here's a two-time unified heavyweight champion, a guy who physically just overwhelms Jake Paul. And we're finally going to get what Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz were not physically fit, whether it be through their size, experience, or age, to do, and that is knock out Jake Paul. And so, because I don't really feel like we got that satisfying comeuppance that a lot of people have been waiting for, it kind of gives Jake Paul a little bit of mystique, I'd almost say, to still try and string this along. Now, I don't know in terms, he says he wants to be cruiserweight champion. I'm not quite sure what the competitive road there is, because let's make no mistake, the reason this fight lasted as long as it did is because Jake Paul focused exclusively on being elusive. He did his best, and kudos to him, right? He did a great job of not getting cornered. He was always on the gas until the gas sort of fell out from underneath him. And so I don't quite know, short of leveraging his popularity, how he's going to get to that title shot if he's not actually going to fight, like really.
Confusion rippled through viewers during the 7th round of Jake Paul's fight with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when some fans claimed that online sources were already declaring Paul the winner before the final bell. Those premature announcements quickly fueled debate across social media, prompting questions about the integrity of the bout among skeptical viewers.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end result as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google.
Jake Paul's fight with Chavez Jr. wasn't the first to draw this kind of scrutiny. His boxing career often sits at the intersection of sport and entertainment, blurring the line between pure competition and spectacle. Many fans point to what they see as a pattern: opponents who are past their peak, matchups designed to maximize viewership, and conditions that appear to favor Paul. To critics, these elements suggest a career built more on showmanship than on consistently testing himself against evenly matched fighters. Supporters, however, argue it's calculated promotion in a modern boxing landscape.
But in quite serious news in the combat sports world, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them. You know, I really did. I thought that Mike Tyson, especially, Iron Mike, he was just going to go in there and knock Jake clean out. But here he is, not trying.
Chael Sonnen weighed in on the situation, pointing out how unusual it is for a fighter with only 11 professional bouts to be matched against opponents with deep experience and even Olympic-level credentials. According to Sonnen, the logic of placing such a relatively undeveloped professional into high-stakes matchups doesn't fully add up. From his perspective, these fights often feel structured to create dramatic storylines rather than to reflect traditional competitive progression in the sport.
Cheering for Jake, or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better, I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. And I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. And I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down. I will put him somewhere and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other things. Where I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. While I'm saying that, Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience and yeah, he was moving and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like, for that to be Joshua's mindset.
Joe Rogan added another dimension to the conversation, noting that Jake Paul has consistently sought to prove himself as a legitimate fighter. Rogan highlighted Paul's desire to face real opponents and show he can handle genuine competition. While the intent may seem sincere, the repeated patterns of opponent selection and carefully orchestrated circumstances have led some to question how much of the spectacle is authentic versus strategically managed to benefit Paul's career.
Like, the head is open. upstairs is open, and I was surprised that he wasn't going there. But any of this nonsense script bullshit. Like if you subscribe to that notion, you're an absolute idiot. You're an absolute idiot. There was no reason for, first of all, you go to jail. Why would Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the world, partake in anything like that? Just use your brain. And MVP, too much to lose. You go to jail. Federal effing prison. AJ, like for what? For what? He doesn't need it. He doesn't need more money. It's great. But to risk this? No, look at what's going on with the gambling. No way. There's no way. My respect for Jake has grown. I know people don't like to give him credit. You fight amateur, influencer, pro boxing. You have my respect. I don't care what kind of fighter you are. I don't care how many wins you have. You step through those ropes. You have my respect. He lasted 6 rounds. Most didn't think he would. I think the line as far as how many rounds was 2.5. So clearly, most people thought he would be out of there around that point, and I think a lot of people were going with the under. He had some moments. He had the antics. Obviously the takedowns and all that weren't great. But golly, I think he was tired. The ring was bigger, and everyone said that was going to benefit him, the 22x22 ring. But cardio has been an issue for him, and so when you're circling and dancing, you're gonna get tired. You're gonna gas out, and I think that happened. Arms were down, and he was getting pinned. He was getting cornered, and he was getting, AJ was doing a great job, I think, of not letting the fight be contested in the middle of the ring, cornering him either in the middle, like the turnbuckle, or up against the ropes. He was cutting him off perfectly. And so I know people are going to be upset that AJ didn't.
Dan Rafael offered further insight, focusing on the dynamics of the Joshua fight. He praised Jake Paul for lasting as long as he did, noting that Paul's defensive, cautious approach, though not always popular with fans, was likely the only way to endure multiple rounds against a fighter of Joshua's caliber. From Rafael's perspective, the bout highlights the challenge of balancing spectacle-driven matchups with genuine professional-level competition. This theme of carefully managed contests extends beyond the Joshua fight. In previous bouts, critics have argued that Paul's opponents were often selected to maximize audience engagement while limiting real risk, reinforcing the ongoing debate over the line between entertainment and sport in his career.
Yeah, like you said, did it go 6 rounds and last, a few longer? I'll give credit to Jake for hanging in there. Part of it was because he employed an extremely unfriendly for fans style, but it was the only way he could do it if he wanted to survive that many rounds, which is to basically get on his bicycle and ride around the ring for a bunch of rounds and then get off his bicycle and run, like a criminal at night after the cops show up. So it is what it is. I mean, it'll be the fact that it's still resonated shows you the interest that there was in the fight, and certainly that knockout was a viral clip. And I'll quote the great philosopher Eddie Hearn. We're going to take care of Jake Paul and on to the real boxing in 2026.
Yeah, the great philosopher.
Eddie will like that.
Yeah, he will. I might take that out because he'll like it too much. Look, in terms of AJ now, I think he's always in a no-win situation. I think unless he flattened him within 10 seconds, someone would have something to say, whether it be before the fight and why is he doing this. Look, we know why he's doing it, and it helps him, I suppose, in the US market as well in terms of coming over here and making a big splash. But do you understand where some people maybe have been a bit critical with how long it's taken, or is it the fact that you fight a guy who's that, like you mentioned there, he's a novice boxer and he's moving around the ring? Was it down to Anthony to cut him off sooner, or do you see why it went that long?
I mean, look, Anthony certainly could have done a better job cutting the ring off, and Anthony Joshua was the first one to say so himself after the ring. I mean, I've always viewed Joshua as pretty honest when it comes to assessing his own.
Wade, a podcast host, criticized the decision to put a 58-year-old fighter in the ring for one of Jake Paul's bouts, arguing that such matchups shouldn't happen under typical circumstances. He suggested the fight's outcome and structure appeared influenced more by financial considerations than by competitive fairness.
Of course, at 58, I think a lot of people in that ring could have hurt Mike because Again, Mike did not look like he should be in a ring, but we just saw this whole experiment. We don't need a Logan and Mike Tyson fight after this. For Logan to clearly not get the joke and disrespect Mike to his face after he had just fought Jake in this amazing event, and all you can really do is give him his flowers because that's what you should do right then. Logan has to take it another level and continue to be the asshole. So again, the self-awareness on Logan Paul, whether it's Lunchley or Prime or anything to do with crypto, the guy just doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. But then, you know, like I said, Jake didn't really call anybody out in the post-fight presser, in his post-fight interview with Ariel, but the internet went ablaze over, you know, him fighting Mike and how are you continuing to fight these older guys and Mike being 58.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next one.